also lo-fi vibe, which kind of melds all the different sounds I usually work with together. We recorded it in the studio in Yellow Springs, and
which is a barn.
Just a barn studio.
The studio makes it sound awesome.
But again, it was like 3 years ago. So, but we're finally getting it done and out there, and I'm really excited to share it. And the title Tilted Summer was actually, my daughter came up with that. And she was like, you need to call the album Tilted Summer. And I was like, why? And I was like, she was like, that's just what it has to be called. So then I wrote a song about it, and then became the title of the record. So we're just going to go with it. But she also, I don't know, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Leo the Lion is the first single.
Yes.
And it just debuted at Ghetto Blaster, I want to say.
Yeah, dude, that's so rad. Yeah.
That's really cool of them to do that.
So awesome. Tim Andrew helped with that, and those kids. That was, I don't know, I'm blown away by the response from that. So thank you so much to Tim and all that. And the Sweet Cheetah, they do good work over there. Yeah.
They truly do good work.
They do. Like, he's amazing, so.
We're not just saying that. They really put effort to support a whole host of bands that don't get the support that they should, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Tim has been doing publicity for so long. He's made some really strong connections. So for a publicity company in Dayton, like he has a wide-reaching influence.
So Leo the Lion,
yeah,
the first single, it's a great guitar, and Andy's looking at me like those drums are pretty good too, and they are. But for me, it's got a great guitar tone to it. How did you approach writing Leo the Lion?
Thank you. Actually, that song is so old. I actually wrote it on a plane back from Vancouver. That's how old it is. From my honeymoon, which was like, we've been together 10 years, so do that. And, but the song is just like about my love-hate love with Dayton, and you know, that kind of thing. But I wanted a positive vibe, and that's where that big heavy flanger comes in.
Yeah.
And, you know, got the Cars thing, sort of like the Cars, or like, I don't know.
Well, it does feel like a Cars song.
Yeah.
Yeah, just no synthesizer.
Yeah. But
was that purposeful on your part, that you wanted to make something that evoked that band? Or did it just come out that way?
it just came out that way.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know, let's try a big flanger on this lead part, and it was kind of dope. And so I was like, oh, it sounds like the Cars, but I like that.
Do you, correct my memory, but I think that came together a lot when we started to record it.
Yeah.
Probably, like, your basic track wasn't as
No.
Cars-ish. What's the
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
verb?
No, we used to play it. We played it a few times live, like acoustic. It was written acoustically, and then we kind of turned it into, you know, the 4-chord, like, you know,
The anthem.
But,
Oh, it does have that feel.
Yeah.
It does have that feel.
thanks, man. That's awesome. I think it's a fun song. It is a song you can just crank and, like, you know, I hope everyone enjoys it. That's all.
Well, especially these days, we can use a song that's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I purposely kind of made the record like not talking about any issues or
Yeah,
anything. We're
yeah.
just fun songs.
It's
They're all
full of rock
fun.
anthems.
Rock anthems.
Have you
yeah.
thought of yourself as a rock anthem writer?
I will now. I'm going to add that to the resume. No, this collection of songs I've kind of always I kind of think of things as like a whole already, and so this collection kind of all fit together really well. And, you know, we were able to kind of put the power into it that I was envisioning, so that was awesome how that turned out. Andy's rules on the drums, and that was great.
How did you guys work together? Like, do you bring an idea to Andy, or do you bring like a fully fleshed out song? How does the collaboration work?
I think Kris usually has the songs fleshed out, but as far as my drum parts, I'm just fitting in like how he strums. So like we're definitely, like, we don't say anything, but we're definitely playing off each other. So you can almost say that you wrote the drum parts, Kris.
What's funny about that is I always wanted to be a drummer. I'm just horrible
Really?
at it. Yeah. Every time, like when I was in old punk bands and hardcore bands, whenever we take like a break, I'd jump behind the drums and just like bang. But like I'm bad at it, so don't give me credit for that. But
No, but like my 4 on the floor drum beat is just because I'm fitting within your strum pattern there. So
I'm not that great of a guitar player either. So.
I'm not that great of a drummer. We work well together.
Yes.
Well, together. Well, and Andy, you played drums on Thankful Parade, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
I didn't use a kick bass.
Right, I was gonna. Thank you for putting it into words what I was going to try to awkwardly say.
Yeah, yeah.
And which to me sounds. It's both more immediate, but it doesn't have that kind of headspace. It doesn't like hit you.
Mm-hmm.
So was that, or are decisions like that something that you walk in saying, I'm going to do this? Or is it more like as you guys work on a song, you're like, oh, okay, this, I don't need this, or I need this other thing?
I think in terms of the drums, like the decisions were more per album. Like when we did the Thankful Parade, like we become a 4-piece pretty quickly after like spending like 2 years playing shows as just a duo. So in my mind, it didn't make sense to do the full kit because like your songs were still sensitive and lo-fi and acoustic. So that made sense on the Thankful Parade to use a setup that wasn't full on but still enough to carry the electric guitars and the synthesizers and the bass that we added. But for this record, it was just like maybe Thankful Parade was the transition. Not to demean it because it's a great record, but like in terms of sonics, it made sense let's just go full on this record because we're an album separated from the last Kitchen Home recording, Kris N record.
It just feels so good to like get it out into the world because I found it really. I don't know if any other musicians have come in here and said this, but I found it really hard to be creative during the pandemic and things.
Oh yeah.
And so, and you'd think it'd be the opposite because I spent more time at home, stuff like that. But it was hard for me to get in that space. So it just feels good to just get it out in the world and let people hear it and I don't know, be creative again. So
You're not the first to comment on that during the pandemic, it was harder to be creative or that people felt blocked in some way. A couple of people have commented that even simple things just felt heavy, right? Even doing simple tasks just seemed insurmountable because of everything else that was happening around you. Even I had a conversation the other day with a musician that we haven't aired yet who said that he stacked up trash, couple of cans of trash in his backyard because he just thought, what's the point of taking it to the trash can, right? Which then became the basis of a song, not surprisingly called Trash Can, about how simple tasks felt big. So I'd love to take credit for this, but I'm really not, right? I think so many of us have dealt with those challenges, whether it's there because of emotional or mental health challenges, or because of just the challenge of the pandemic itself.
For sure, and that's kind of like the second single on the record is called Struggle, and it's the chorus is I struggle with the wanting to be a part of it, the struggle. So it's kind of in the same vein, and I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling. But I don't know, maybe can you relate to that?
No.
Oh, Dark Andy's
yes,
back.
I can. I didn't have anything prepared to say.
That's cool.
If you are just tuning in, you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative on WUDR Dayton. Rockin' the Gem City, music in all directions, support your local music scene. We are really happy. Today is a day full of cool interviews. We had 7,000 apart in the first hour. We have Kris and Andy of Kris N here during hour number 2. Our good friend Mike Bankhead. I'm I'm going to call them all good friends. I hope John and Amelie are okay with that. But a day full of good friends and terrific music. This is a brand new song from Kris N. It's called Struggle from his forthcoming record, Tilted Summer. You're doing great. As long as you don't have one-word answers, you're doing great.
I'm trying, man. It's only the problem is all the songs are 2 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta be ready to
Oh, I can throw in an older. I can throw in my personal fave.
What's that?
What, Kris? Oh,
Yeah.
You were gonna play it though, if you wanted.
Oh well, that doesn't matter. What else do I have? I can also play something from the new record. I've got First and 10.
Okay.
Is there anything wrong with playing First and 10? We can come in after that. Do you guys need anything? You doing all right?
Yeah.
Great.
So we'll come in what looks like in about 3.5 minutes, talk a little bit more, and then I'll ask, hey, you guys willing to play for us? Andy, of course, will say no. Or at least I'm really hoping Andy says no.
I'm ready.
Whoa, that's weird. Okay, I'm like. I don't think my. Do you have a trash can?
Not in here. Oh, you can just throw it on the chair here, and I'll take it out.
Well, it's
later.
like I think it's from my case. I haven't used it in a long time, and it's like just some.
Okay, you just set it either on the chair or on the stand there. I'll take care
I'll
of
get
it.
rid of it. Yeah, I had to dust off my guitar case. It's never good. Huh? No, it's just.
Definitely should mute that bad boy before we go on. I'm just taking weird pictures. This attachment fuzzes things out and gives it
Oh, cool.
a weird fishbowl look. Or at least I like it.
That's very punk rock. That's like, yeah, like 90s punk rock.
There you go.
When I went to the Tigers game, there was somebody like out front, outside of the gate, like playing like bucket drums. But he was playing along to, like top 40 radio, and I was sitting there watching. And I'm thinking, he's playing along with the metronome in front of thousands of people. It's like the most terrifying thing.
Right. Don't get off. Don't
Yeah.
get off.
Yeah, and he was spot on.
Whoa. That would be
He
terrifying.
deserved his tip on it.
Oh. Clearly, somebody who's probably more muscle memory than. Oh God, because if you're off, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always, my students will laugh because I'll have stacks of notes, but I rarely look at them. Like, it's just in case I forget. Mics are hot. Kris N here on your Tuesday afternoon alternative. First and 10 from some previous work from Kris and brand new music, The Struggle, from the forthcoming album Tilted Summer. When does the album come out, Kris?
Well, funny enough, it comes out the first day of summer. The full thing will be out. It's 5 songs. We're doing singles. I I guess that's the thing we do now.
Yeah.
So we're doing 3 singles that'll be out every 2 weeks. There'll be a new single. That is the second single, Struggle. So I hope you enjoyed it.
And June 21st.
June is the first day
of
of
summer. Yeah.
Summer. Okay.
I had to look that up when we were preparing the release.
There you go.
Because I never know when summer starts.
So June 21st, the album is out. I assume it'll be everywhere, all of the streaming things, but more importantly, I know you can pre-order on the PopTech website. Is that correct?
Yes, and also Bandcamp.
Oh, so you can pre-order on Bandcamp or
Yeah.
PopTech.
Yeah, Bandcamp, you go ahead and get 2 songs for free.
Ooh.
Poptech.com, you may accidentally get the whole album for free, or when you pre-order. I shouldn't say for free, but when you pre-order.
Yeah.
Bandcamp, you get 2 songs. PopTech, you get 5.
Well, there's incentive. That sounds like incentive to me.
Yeah.
I'm curious. You talked earlier, Kris, about the album's not particularly heavy, right? It's not, even given some of the challenges and the literally the struggles that we're facing right now and the problems that we have. You intentionally made a record that it could have talked about some of those issues, but it purposefully did not.
Yeah, I have those songs too, but no, this particular set of collection of songs, I just wanted to be fun. I wanted it to be like, because we get so much of that in our day. I mean, like, just we need to break away from that sometimes. We need to take breaks. It's important to take breaks when you're doom scrolling. It's very important to take breaks from that. But yeah, so that was the vibe I was going for, and I think we did it. It's fun. It's a fun record, so just have fun. Turn it up. Turn it loud.
As you should with most rock and roll, in my humble opinion. At least no neighbor has complained yet. No neighbor has.
How long have you lived there?
Oh, about 1.5 years. About a year and a half. So, I'm thinking at this point that I must clearly be mitigating my natural tendencies. I've had many people walk up to me when I have headphones on, and I'm like, I can't hear you. But speaking of hearing, there's the awkward radio segue. You guys are going to play something for us. What have you got?
Well, can we just say that we haven't played in a long time? So this would be like, how many years? I mean, for real. So I don't know. Just bear with me. But we're going to play an old song. We're going to play a song that you said was your favorite, and it's called Grace Kelly. And
yeah, this is off the Thankful Parade, the album before the one that we started to put out today.
For sure. So should we go ahead?
Please do.
All right. Keep it simple, scrambled eggs and toast for 2. 1 and 1, my heart beats for you. Keep it simple, scrambled eggs and toast for 2. 1 and 1, my heart beats for you. Grace Kelly, killing it tonight. I can't stop Fred staring at you. You're Grace Kelly, killing it tonight. I can't stop Fred staring at you. You're Grace Kelly, killing it tonight. I can't stop Fred staring at you. You're Grace Kelly, killing it tonight. I can't stop Fred staring at you. Grace Kelly, killing it tonight. I can't stop Fred staring at you. Grace Kelly, killing it tonight. I can't stop Fred staring at you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know why you were apologizing. That sounded great.
Thanks, man. Thanks. One practice.
Well, you didn't overthink it then.
There you
Right.
go. Yeah.
You can ruin something by practicing too much.
That's right. I'm the king of not overthinking.
And honestly, that is one of my favorite songs. It is just a great indie pop song. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that song.
Man, thanks so much, and thanks for playing it. I hear it sometimes, and I don't know. It's so awesome. Like, one thing about posting some of these songs and stuff, it's so awesome how much people support, and like it's been like we've been saying, it's been so long since I put anything out, and the fact that people still care is just like beyond me and awesome, and thank you. That's so rad.
Because you're a great songwriter.
Well,
We just sang a chorus about Grace killing it tonight. That is staring at you. That's clever.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
clever
you.
music. You're clever.
dad jokes, man. It comes with the territory.
No, but and you set it up in the beginning, right? You know, keep it simple, and then you slip in the dad humor, but it totally works in the flow of the song, right? It's not like you shoved it in and it didn't fit, but darn it, you're gonna put it in there anyway, right? It still works in the flow of the song, which I think that makes it even cooler.
Thanks so much. I just love the melody, so I just, we sing it a lot in that song. But, yeah, and without the keyboard to kind of carry it, but it was fun, acoustic.
Yeah, it's still a good song.
How did that song come to you? Or how did that guitar melody come to you?
Well, like we were saying, at the time you were like a four-piece. My wife Lindsay was playing bass, and Johnny was playing keyboards, and we would actually get together like once a week, which was crazy. And we would just play, and the songs would develop themselves, and then I would just I love just playing with words, and so that's where that came from. It's just kind of what I do, and so it came about kind of organically. I feel like I don't think it was forced, and it just came about in just playing with each other. And I don't know exactly where the guitar.
Kris, can I say, I was trying to think about that whole process with the Thankful Parade.
Yeah.
I don't remember practicing.
Oh, we did.
Like in my mind, it's like poof, we're a four-piece, and we go in and record in 2 days, and the album's done. Like I don't remember practicing at all. I have a terrible memory.
It was fun. Yeah, we would like once a week get together and play. And, yeah.
Did you invite me?
Yeah, you were there.
All right.
News to Andy.
Yeah. We recorded it with Micah and Micah Carlin, and he
Upside recording.
did an amazing job. So, but that was the old stuff. We're here with the new stuff, and I'm very excited to get it out there.
So we've heard Struggle and Leo the Lion, and I should take a moment and pay the bills. You're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative on WUDR Dayton, rocking the Gem City, music in all directions, support your local music scene. So we've got the two songs, Leo the Lion and The Struggle. Did you write them in that same kind of organic process?
No, that was more on my own. We weren't in the same room, so this was more just me. And like I said, I write a lot of songs. Like, they're not very, not all of them are keepers, for sure.
Mm.
But like, I just like to get ideas out. I'm kind of that's how I work. And my notepad is a mess. It's just like random words, random phrases, whatever. But sometimes it'll come together. So like, these came together that way, and I felt like the five as a whole worked.
They sit really well together. I can see why you're like, okay, this works as a record. They flow well into one another, right? They sonically, there's some differences, right? I'd say Leo the Lion for me is one of the louder songs on the record. It's brasher, right?
I think I also took a little bit of a different approach vocally. It's on at least in the production part of it, I guess. I put it more up front, more center. I've usually buried my vocals in a lot of past things, but I don't know. This is my voice.
You're bold now.
Yeah.
We won't make any awful lion references or anything
Yeah.
here. That would just be continuing the bad dad humor, and we don't want to do
Yeah.
that. But I'm curious, have you always written songs?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what I've done since I was a teenager. Yeah, I like to write songs. I like to play with words, you know. Yeah, I was a screamer in a hardcore band all the way, you know, back in the day. And then we did Kris N. I met Andy, like, still long ago now. It's crazy. We've been doing this for a long time, and it's just a lot of fun, so.
At what point did you transition from someone who just listened to music and enjoyed music to someone who wrote his own songs or performed?
I mean, in high school, I did. I don't know. I'd always been an active participant. I didn't want to, I don't know, ever since I loved the Smashing Pumpkins and like when I was 14.
Oh, sure.
But, you know, you just want to get it out there, you know, whatever you're feeling, whatever you want. It's kind of a need, you know, you just need to, like, it's like, if I don't get it out, then it just weighs on me. So I just have to, like, it's art. And that's why when it was difficult for me during the pandemic to create things, I wasn't myself. And so, like, being able to feel like I'm creating again and sharing my art is therapeutic in a lot of ways.
So even if the song isn't a keeper, you gotta, like, just get it out.
Yeah, for sure. For a long time, we did this project called Song of the Week, and I on the poptech.com, if you'd like to go check them out.
Yes, they're still there.
They're still there.
Well, at least the second version. We need to repost the first version.
Oh yeah,
Because there are a lot of songs on that.
there are. So we did it for, how long did we do the first? So every week I would write and record a song, basically, and then we'd post it, and you know, some were better than others, and they were all, like, recorded in my kitchen or bathroom or whatever, but, like, it was fun, and it felt good to do projects like that. It keeps me feeling like I'm at least contributing to the world, and but it was a fun project. And then we ended up stopping it, but then we did it again, like, a few years ago.
And there's some great songs in there.
Oh, thanks. It was.
I can't play all of them,
Yeah.
as you so well know.
Yeah,
that doesn't make it a bad song.
yeah. When we did it the second time, it was kind of during a weird period here, and I would use it sort of as a way to get some of my frustrations out about the world and what was happening and everything like that. So that was also therapeutic in a lot of ways. So.
Well, and I think that's the beauty, and not just aesthetically speaking, but the power of art is that it evokes, or it allows for the release of some emotion. And
sure.
That's so important.
And I really like I don't really dwell too much over mistakes. Or I'm not a perfectionist in any way. I'm usually a one take. Like, let's just get it out there. Like, I just want to get what I'm feeling. Like, my voice memos are just like it's a mess. But that's kind of how I feel. And that project allowed me to kind of do that and not really overthink it, like we were talking earlier, and just throwing it out into the void and seeing if anyone gets anything out of it. And if they do, that's awesome. And if not, that's okay too, because I got to get it out of me. So
I can totally understand that. I was listening to some of the stuff that you sent us, and this is a few years ago that you're doing this. If I remember correctly, this is pre-pandemic?
Probably, but yeah.
Real close in time.
Yeah, I think it was pre-pandemic, but yeah, it was post everything else.
Yeah, right, yes. Well put. And I remember I was listening, and Tracy goes by and she's like, "Does Kris N have a new record?" And I'm like, I immediately was overcome with emotion, and I had to hug her, because it's like, God bless you for knowing who that is.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
And I did tell her I was going to share that story today, so I just like to say publicly, sorry, sweetie.
I appreciate it.
But
Mrs. Dr. J is great.
She truly the kinder, smarter of the two of us. Let's be honest. But I also think that there's something distinctive about the music you make, right? You have a great sense of melody, but it's not overly cluttered. It doesn't get in the way of the song. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I think I do.
How do you think of your music?
How do I think
Yeah,
about
when
music?
you think of the music that you've made.
It's like a
And remember, we're on air. I'm
Right.
teasing.
Honestly, my music's pretty personal, to be honest with you. Like, a lot of my stuff is hard for me to listen to these days. Like, if it's pretty in the moment, it's pretty personal. So, like, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I don't know, call it emo, I guess. I was an emo kid. So sometimes when I go back and listen to something that I've created, it's not easy. So, but at least, in the time, it helped me to sing it or say it or whatever. So I guess that's how I see it. But this one may be a little different because it's not heavy.
Yeah.
But that's on purpose, I guess. So I needed that too. You need that side of it too in order to appreciate the heavy. Like, you need the cold to know what's warm,
Yeah.
So like, I needed, like I was saying, like, we're just so overwhelmed all the time with everything that happens that you just need to turn on some rock and roll and forget about it once in a while.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative on WUDR Dayton. We have Andy and Kris of Kris N here in the studio. Kris N is releasing a terrific new record, Tilted Summer, that comes out on the first day of summer, June 21st. I look at Andy as I say that.
But there'll be another single every 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, there'll be another single released and then another single. I guess that's what the kids do these days. So.
I don't think I can safely say anything about what the kids do, given my distance. But it is great music, and you can pre-order it now at poptech.com and bandcamp.com, Kris N's site. Go check it out. I believe you have something else for us. There's another song that we can convince you to play. He said hopefully, because I have so enjoyed what you've done so far.
Sure, we can play a song, another old song. Do you want to do Caroline Bells?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, good song.
This is a song called Caroline Bells.
Kris N here in the studio, Andy and Kris. What is a thankful parade?
I think at the time I was just really just feeling grateful, and I think that's important too. Like I try to every once in a while, especially in my music, show I'm grateful, and I think that piece of art was kind of just displaying that. And the thankful parade is like, you know, I don't even know where how I came up. I was just like, this is what we're gonna call it. But I'm very lucky. I have so many awesome things that have happened for me, and so I guess that's just a way to tell the universe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, will you play a release show around the summer solstice or anything like that? Do you have any plans to do something like that?
The only show we have lined up is Porch Fest. So
In August, right?
In August,
Yeah.
but we're not really, nothing booked yet, nothing to tell you about, but maybe we'll do something soon. We were talking about it.
I think you should do a release show. I mean, the songs need a release show, in my opinion.
You do?
I do. I truly believe that.
All right. I mean, if you do, then
I'll be there. I'll be at Porch Fest.
that's awesome.
August 20th, I want to say.
Sounds right.
St. Anne's Hill. Every year there is this terrific assortment of different local and Dayton bands who play literally on the porches in this neighborhood, and throughout the day you can see all kinds of acoustic music and all kinds of genres and styles, and it's just such a fun community event.
It's so rad. I'm excited because I've never done it, so I'm super excited to be involved in that. And but yeah, if we come up with a show, we'll let you know first.
Please do, because I think it makes a lot of sense to put a formal show around these songs. You must feel pretty good now that this is about to be out there, or is it just the opposite? Am I wrong? Is this the time period where you're like nervous and you know you've given it to Andy so you can't take it back?
Kind of like that. No, it feels good to get this to get this record out, like really good. But as far as playing, like Andy will tell him, he's so patient with me because I'm so hard to work with. I really am.
Well, playing shows and setting up shows is rather stressful.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
It's actually a theme among a lot of people on Pop Tech. Like the Draft and XL47 play the most, but like everybody else is kind of like the give or take live shows. Because it is stressful, like hoping that people show up, hoping that you play what you wrote.
And it's like, you know, because it's been a long time, so you also wonder like, how are we gonna get people to want to do that? So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and it goes along with putting an album out too. Like it's very vulnerable. Like, you're putting yourself out there for criticism. So it's hard to convince people. Oh yeah, we should play all the time.
yeah.
Well, how do you guys manage the criticism, right? Because people can be savage.
Like the Twitter trolls.
Oh dear Lord, I
love my block button on Twitter.
Well, I have to admit that there are times I've literally posted something, whether it's Twitter. Or, I think if I've been mean, I think it's been on Twitter, and someone will say something, or I'll just have time to think about it and be like, I don't need to put that on there. There's no good that comes from that. I'm mindful of the old-fashioned model that we used to use for emotional health, right? The think model. Thoughtful, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind.
I love that.
And I've applied it to myself on many occasions, and I admit that I've fallen short. And
I fall short of that on Twitter for sure.
So I'll delete stuff. I'd be like, okay, I'm just being a jerk, or I'm just being mean. Let's delete that.
I do like how Twitter asks you, "Are you sure you want to tweet this?"
Yes, that is helpful. But as artists, right, Andy, of course, you've released in a number of projects, right? XL427 comes to mind, of course, among many, right? So for both of you guys, how do you manage putting yourself out there knowing that no matter how good it is or how happy you're with it, there might be someone who comes along and just is unkind?
I mean, the unkind stuff, actually we haven't gotten a whole lot of just mean criticism. And I think the music that we put out there, like, before we put it out, we kind of know, is this good or is this bad? And that's probably my own defense mechanism. Like, I don't want to be embarrassed, so like I'm not going to put stuff out that that's going to embarrass me. But like the XL427 record, like I know there are mistakes on the album. I just don't care. So if someone criticizes that, okay, yeah, you made a point. But I know that. That's my defense mechanism. But it also probably helps that we're like a record label of introverts. So, like in a lot of ways,
I laugh, but I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, so people don't always notice, for better or worse, that when we put out records. But then the other side of that, I remember it was actually the first record we put out, Richly's Lesser Than Opaque.
Mm-hmm. Great record.
This writer from a magazine that I love, he basically called us like a cheap ripoff of the Pernice Brothers. And
what?
Yeah, and what it actually did, it made us, both Mike and I, Mike Richley, the main songwriter, it made us go, all right, who are the Pernice Brothers? So we looked up the Pernice Brothers and we're like, these guys are awesome.
Yeah, oh right. Weaker shade of pale?
Yeah. So, and like that review actually challenged us to get better. Like, and that record isn't recorded all that great. So it actually challenged us to record better.
Now is that the first? That's the first Richley record.
The first one we released.
Okay.
Okay. The rainy photo on the cover. He had done it's kind of a solo record, and that's when I met him. Like I drummed on half that record. We self-titled rock LP. We would eventually re-release it. But Lesser Than Opaque by Richley is the first one, the first official pop tech release.
Well, and
so we've gotten some reviews that have been constructive criticism.
Okay.
So we've actually been.
I think I'd love a bad review.
Oh, do you really?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever, like, people are too nice, so they wouldn't do that. But if someone just trashed it, I don't know. I think I'd actually laugh at that. But that's just me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I the theme of the day. I don't overthink it. I just put it out there, and then if they like it, if somebody likes it, that's awesome. And if not, it's okay. I'm not doing it for you, so I'm doing it for me. So,
right.
That's how I handle that. But trash my music. Go on. leave so many reviews on it.
Actually, in that respect, I'm the sensitive one.
Yeah.
I would search them out and flatten their tire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Don't tick Andy off. Okay. Important to add that to the checklist there.
Well, and no, I'm passive aggressive, so I may not show it.
You'll walk by that tire.
Yeah.
You will eye that tire. I feel like we're writing an SNL sketch right now.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm giving away a lot of my secrets too.
Well, I think that's very healthy though, right? And I've got to say, The Attack is a terrific record. And if someone's going to point out, well, okay, this one chord is off by, such and such amount, how many people actually hear that? I've been to so many shows and I've listened to so much music, and in no way do I present myself as an expert. You, dear listener, you know that's not true. I am not an expert, but I know what I like, and people will say, "Oh, this is poorly mixed," and my response is, "I don't care."
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. "Oh, this is a terrible live record." Is it? I love this record, the energy and the enthusiasm. "Oh, but didn't you hear this part of the drum kit? Didn't such and such?" I'm like, didn't hear it. Yeah, don't care.
There's so much more to music than the way it sounds. Because that's kind of like my early stuff recorded in kitchens and stuff. it was more about how it felt, you know, and then that's, you know, the emo kid or whatever. We keep
Yeah,
going, but
yeah, that's the lo-fi aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like if the songs
Yeah.
are good, it doesn't matter what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
for sure. Like we didn't actually do a studio record until Thankful Parade, so like everything else
Yeah,
was just,
so what, three?
what's that,
3 official,
3 official, I guess?
5 unofficial,
Yeah.
Well, and
6 unofficial.
it speaks to the point that maybe you don't need perfection. You just need honest emotion.
I think honesty in music is the most important thing. My favorite bands are the ones that are honest and, you know, you can tell, you know, they don't fake it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and some of my favorite records sound cool. Like they don't sound the most hi-fi, they just sound cool.
And anymore, like, you know, you don't see a lot of that. You know, it's all overproduced. It's all
Trying to cover up the vulnerabilities or mistakes.
auto-tune, yeah.
Yeah, which isn't human. So we're a very human record label.
For sure, yeah.
See, that's a great tagline, Andy.
Yeah,
We're
humans
we're
working.
Pop tech
that's
records.
right.
We're humans.
Humans making music for humans.
I like it.
Well, but there's something beautiful about that. I remember as a kid hearing like that first REM Hiptone single, and of course I do hear now. Okay, the drums speed up at a weird point in the song. There are a couple of times when the guitar's out of tune. The vocals are way off because Stipe hasn't learned how to project properly yet, according to music teachers. But I still love that record. And the early REM records, the imperfect records,
Oh yeah.
are the ones that I adore. Now, I don't mind when they jumped to a major label and all that jazz. It's not like, for me, a political thing or a, you're on a major label, you must therefore have sold out kind of argument. But those early REM records, right? Like
Oh yeah.
the EP and Reckoning and, you know, for me, those are the ones that speak to me the most, I think, because of that honesty.
That's a good analogy. I mean, that's a good example of all that for sure. Like, I don't know.
Well, now that Leo the Lion's out,
Yeah.
if you listen to the second verse, I get carried away on the drums, and like, I think it's my kick bass that speeds up a little bit. I keep my snare in the pocket, maybe, but like it could have gone off the racks there, or off the rails, whatever they say.
What are you gonna do?
But if you listen to that, but yeah, it's like, it sounds cool. Like I'm not gonna redo it.
Yeah, exactly.
How often is like the first take or a take that you think when you're recording it, oh wait, I don't like this, and you know, Andy says to Kris says to Andy, no, that sounds great the way it is.
I mean, they were all 1 or 2 takes. I don't even
Well,
think.
we didn't use a metronome on this one.
No,
did
we don't. No.
Alright, that helps out a lot.
I can't play the rest things.
Metronomes, they make me feel like a terrible human being after recording one, because like my tempo is not perfect. So comparing it to a computer, a robot, or a clicking reminder of failure, however you'd want to describe a metronome, it's nice to not worry about that.
And that's such a difficult standard, right? It's a perfect device that doesn't do anything else but that.
Yeah. Like these
Yelling
songs
face.
were recorded. They were recorded live, so I mean that's kind of why it has that live feel to it, which I think, like I said, adds to the way it feels when you listen to it.
Absolutely.
I should have forgot that we recorded the guitars and drums together.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have just killed an hour. We have, I should find a less violent way to say that. You've just spent an hour
There you go, yeah.
here in the studio. Kris, thank you so much. Andy, thank you so much. As always, it's great to see you, man. Kris and Andy, Kris N, their new record, Tilted Summer, comes out on the solstice, right? That's the solstice, right? That's cool. The first official day of summer. Of course, you can pre-order now at poptech.com, bandcamp.com, and of course, there's all the social media and stuff like that for those who are so inclined. But you definitely want to take a look at that record. Guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
us,
Thank
and
you for having us.
keep keep all the support and love for the big music. You do such a great job.
Oh, you were too kind. I promise that's something, that's one I can keep. Someone calling who's not listening. So the machine just caught it, and I'll check it later. Kris, can I get you to sign a drum head? You may have done it in the past, but I have a few here. Feel free to do anything you want. You can sign, over or alongside.